B.
7B. Okay. So, kita mula dengan 3 dulu. Saya tengok soalan 9 ni soalan apa. Tak ada isu sangat. Soalan 7. Soalan 7 interesting. Okay. So, kita bincang 7, 9 dan 3. And we start with 3. Saya hutang semalam, so I feel bad bila saya kata saya nak bincang semalam. Saya rasa kita tak done kan? Saya dan bagi tahu dia impure, yang di mana kamu tak boleh cari, mereka tak boleh cari number of mole, betul? Okay. So, soalan ada, so I make it smaller over here just a bit. Okay. First thing, equation. So, soalan tanya ke, soalan tak tanya macam kita pernah bincang sebelum ni, whenever you are talking about limiting rectangle, you always need equation. And the trick over here in this question, you actually need 2 equation. Soalan A hanya tanya 1. Soalan A hanya tanya 1 equation. Kat soalan B, you need 1 more equation. Okay, so let's see. First and foremost, the question started off with 1.55 gram of iron ore. Iron ore adalah Fe impure. We talked about it yesterday. Okay, dissolved in an acid H+, and in a solution which the ion Fe is then converted to Fe2+. So equation pertama sebenarnya adalah Fe become Fe2+. Tak balance lagi ya, not yet balance. Saya hanya keluarkan sahaja. Equation kedua actually is the solution form is then titrated. The solution form in here. So I have Fe that added into acid. The Fe become Fe2+. Form over here will then titrate with KMnO4. So, equation kedua sebenarnya adalah guna Fe2+, that will then react with the KMnO4 as stated, which will oxidize Fe2+ to become Fe3+. So, benda ni akan jadi Fe3+. Okay. And the MnO4 minus, okay, over here. MnO4 minus datang dari mana? MnO4 minus datang daripada KMnO4. Okay. Will then reduce to Mn2+. So, dia akan jadi Mn2+. That is your second equation in that. Okay. So, a bit about this KMnO4. Why the KMnO4 yang soalan bagi tiba-tiba jadi MnO4 minus? Simple. The KMnO4 is actually a K plus and your MnO4 minus. Your K plus over here is what we call spectator ion. Alright, spectators ion means dia adalah duduk sana tak buat apa, penonton. Dia hanya tengok sahaja reaction tu berlaku. Dengan kata lain, oxidation number dia takkan berubah dari awal sampai akhir. Dia akan jadi K plus dari awal sampai akhir, dia takkan buat apa. And that is the reason why we can ignore your K. And that is the reason why we only take count of your MnO4 minus. And the question say the balance equation for the titration. Saya ada 2 equation kat sini sayang. Equation pertama adalah ion larut dalam acid dapat solution. Solution ini buat titration dengan KMnO4. So equation kedua adalah titration. Okay. Boleh? Make sense? Tadi tak ada kelas kah? Tadi ada kelas tak?
Ada tapi offline.
Ada tapi offline, patutlah. Semua macam baju tidur je ni. Alright. Okay, so that is your spectators ion settle. Saya nak equation kedua. Ada masalah dengan equation kedua? Tak ada? Okay, let's say saya dah bagi, saya bagi jawapan, saya tak sure saya bagi jawapan ke tak. Tapi saya nak jawapan untuk equation tu. Balkis, Diana Balkis. Can I have the equation? sebelum kawan kamu bagi jawapan, kerja yang kamu hantar kat saya jangan hanya bagi jawapan akhir ya. Mentang-mentang saya dah bagi jawapan kat kamu kan. So kalau siapa yang dah buat equation, Diana Balkis? Come on girls. Are you there? Oh tengah tidur, mentang-mentang hujan. Sekejap pindah hujan. Whole day. Betul? Sejuk. Okay. Kawahan tak ada dah tu. Bye-bye dah. Bye-bye dah. Tak tahu kat time zone mana dah. Hilang dah. Alright. Bagus seorang lagi. Sayang. Equation. First half. Saya tak nak jawapan akhir. Saya nak half equation. Jawapan akhir boleh baca jawapan saya je. Yes. FE.
Anak panah yang garis.
No. Saya nak first half equation sayang. Sebelum kamu gabung, dia akan ada 2 equation, betul? Alright, sebelum kamu gabung yang ni, dia akan ada 2 equation kan? Saya nak 2 equation tu.
FE2 plus.
FE2 plus. Betul?
Anak panah. FE3 plus.
Je. Ketuk pala hang. Lagi?
Elektron tambah 1.
Tambah elektron 1 kiri kanan, Safan?
Kanan.
Kanan. Tu je equation dia. Orang lain?
Tak.
Betul? Betul ke jawapan kamu?
5 FE2 plus.
5 FE2 plus.
Anak panah 5 FE3 plus 5E.
Alright. Belum jawapan akhir, so tak ada fasa. Saya still okay lagi lah. Saya still tutup mata kat sini. And then, Aiman Saad. Another half.
Uh, 8H plus
8H plus
tambah MnO4 minus
MnO4 minus
tambah 5E minus.
Okay.
Tu anak panah Mn2 plus. Lepas tu tambah 4H2O.
Okay. Alright. So that is the 2 half equation yang patut ada atas kertas kamu sebelum kamu dapat jawapan akhir tu. Alright. Tak nak tanya jawapan akhir sebab saya dah bagi dah jawapan tu. So you should know that. Okay, so you would then, if you are getting these 2 correct, then there should be no problem for you to get the balance equation for the titration. So the problem over here adalah the percentage iron in the sample. So what is the B talking about? B tu sebenarnya nak apa? Fahamkan soalan dulu. Like the one that we discussed yesterday, when you want the percentage iron or the percentage calcium yesterday. Ingat soalan semalam? Calcium impure? Alright, so if you want to find the percentage of calcium, or in this question, you want to find the percentage of iron in the sample, you must use the mass of the pure iron over the mass of the impure, ataupun the mass of the FeO in this case, times 100. And I want to insist one more thing over here, we must be using mass. Mesti guna mass, sebab apa? Kenapa mesti guna mass, Adriana?
Sebab kira jisim.
Sebab nak kira jisim, saya nak percentage. So number of mole bahagi number of mole pun boleh. Kenapa mesti mass?
Mass sebab dia bagi jisim dalam iron tu. Bye.
So jisim yang dia, bye. Alright, so jisim yang dia bagi dalam ni tak boleh tukar number of mole kah?
Apa dia, Miss?
Sorry. Jisim yang dia bagi kat sini sayang, tak boleh tukar number of mole kah?
Oh, yang tu dia bukan ferron je. Dia campur
Okay, thank you. Why we must be using mass over here, guys? We talk about it yesterday. Kalau dia ada benda yang impure, ada campuran macam Adriana kata tadi, you cannot find the number of mole. So untuk cari percentage of iron pure, you must use the format of or you must use the formula of pure. Okay, mass pure over mass impure times 100. Yang ni tak boleh ubah. Mesti adalah formula ni. So problem over here adalah yang ni berapa? Sebab bawah tu kita dah ada dah dari awal weh. Dari awal saya dah tahu 1.55. Betul? So yang kita nak cari adalah mass of pure iron. Mungkin akan dapat jawapan tapi saya nak kamu tanda sebab saya nak bagi markah dah kat sini. Okay? So, how do we start? Simple. You will have your balance equation from your 5A. You will have your balance equation of this plus 8H plus kalau tak silap saya. Plus MnO4 minus aqueous. Blah, blah, blah. Belakang tu sendirilah. Kamu ada equation daripada 5A. From the question given, the question stated, your MnO4 minus juice is 0.02 molar. Volume used is 92.95 milliliter. So, the first thing that you do is definitely to find the number of mole of your MnO4 minus. Therefore, cara yang paling senang, MV over 1000. Siapa yang guna formula molarity pun boleh. Kamu guna MV ke guna molarity? Molarity. Nawash buka mic dulu, so kita guna molarity. So, siapa yang guna molarity pun saya terima. Siapa yang guna MV 1000 pun saya terima. Number of mole solute over here in mole over volume of solution in liter. So you must change it. The number of, the concentration given 0.02 molar. Number of mole solute is the one that we are looking for. Okay. And the volume of solution, change it to liter. Therefore, over here adalah 92.95 times 10 to the power of negative 3 liter. Bagi 1000 kan? Okay. So kamu dah ada kat situ 92.95 times 10 to the power of negative 3 liter. Therefore, you will have the number of mole solute, and in this case, the number of mole solute sayang, MnO4 minus. Setuju? Haifa? Value? Baru nak kira. Buat tak?
Saya tak buat nombor 3, saya terskip. Saya terus nombor 4, nombor 5.
Okay, tak apa. Kira-kira sekarang.
Satu 1.859 darat 10 kuasa negatif 3.
1.859. Tak ada dah, belakang 9 je.
Tak ada. Darat 10 kuasa negatif 3.
Darat 10 kuasa negatif 3 mole. And look at the way that I write my answer, guys. Mole solute. Siapa solute kita hari ni? Because the molarity is the molarity of MnO4 minus. Therefore, number of mole adalah number of mole MnO4 minus. First thing, you got the number of mole already. Bila dah dapat number of mole, the question asking for, if you remember, the question asking for this, percentage of ferrum in the impure. Yang kita nak cari, kamu kena ingat apa yang kamu nak cari. Kamu nak cari mass of pure Fe. So sekarang yang kamu ada adalah mole of MnO4. Yang kamu ada adalah MnO4. Rasa-rasa compare dengan siapa? H plus atau Fe2 plus?
Compare dengan Fe2 plus.
Definitely compare with Fe2 plus. Therefore, from equation mesti kena betul dari awal. From equation, 5 mole of Fe2 plus will react with 1 mole of MnO4 minus. Number of mole MnO4 minus given. So you have the given is 1.859 times 10 to the power of negative 3 mole of MnO4. Yang ni kamu ada. Therefore, from here, you need to find the mole of Fe2 plus. Okay. Yang tak buat lagi ataupun yang ada salah, sila kira balik. Yang betul, you can check. I'll give you the marks straight away later. Okay. Syuhada memang tak boleh buka kamera ke? Dayana? Dayana ada dah? Dayana bye-bye dah. Dayana bye-bye dah. Syuhada kata line slow. Tak apa. Line slow tak apa. Otak kena jalan laju. Alright. Haifa? Still you. Baba. Oh, nak kira. Han tadi tak kira kau? Kira. Tekan. Saya dah tulis semua dah. Han tekan je.
0.3092. 3093.
Betul ke kelas? Azri say no. Tekan lagi. Tak payah bagi jawapan. Haifa, tekan lagi. Because I've wrote down everything basically. Kamu kena tekan je. Takkan tak boleh solve lagi ratio.
Terdekat saya, maaf. 9.295 darab 10 kuasa negatif 3.
Quiz kamu saya dah tanda dan saya dah pulang balik. Kamu memang ada masalah salah tekan calculator. Salah dunia betul yang tu. Alright. So that is the number of mole of your Fe2 plus. My question over here. Oops, I write down the mole already. My question over here guys. Boleh tak ambil number of mole ni tukar mass terus?
Boleh.
Nowhere say yes. Azri? Yes. Izzati? Patindo? Yes. Ada orang nak join me? I say no. Miss Wong clan. Tak ada siapa nak join. Oh, bila Miss Wong say no, tu habis lagi tu orang. Okay, the confusion over here. Kenapa I say no? Nowesh, if that is an ion, how do you take that ion and weight it? How can you measure the mass of an ion? Okay. Kamu bertuah sebab jawapan akhir yang kamu kira still betul. Don't worry Anas, yang kamu kira still dapat jawapan betul. Cuma kamu hilang markah. Kenapa hilang markah? Sebab that is the Fe2 plus. Bear that in mind, what I want over here is the mass of pure Fe. And if you remember the slide over here, I have one more equation. Dan yang saya nak bukan Fe2 plus sayang, yang saya nak adalah Fe solid. Therefore, you will have one more equation. And that one more equation is, even though it's 1 to 1, terus pula kepada one more. Write the equation first. There is one more equation. Fe solid will form Fe2 plus as stated in the question with 1 electron release. Dan yang kita nak sekarang adalah pacik ni. Bukan Fe2 plus. So from the equation again, from this equation, even though it's 1 to 1 ratio, kena tulis. Maka konsep. Alright, kamu bertuah sebab dia adalah 1 to 1, sebab tu jawapan kamu betul. Since it's a 1 to 1, therefore I don't think you need calculator. You will then get the mole of the Fe solid. Okay? Yang ni, question?
Miss Wong,
Yes.
kan tambah 2 elektron ni.
Kena tambah, 2 elektron sayang. Thank you. My bad. So, it's a 1 to 1 ratio dan kamu akan dapat. Okay? That's why saya kata tak boleh. You must show this type. Bila dah dapat number of mole, saya tak risaulah. When you get the number of mole already, obviously we don't want the number of mole, we want the mass of the Fe pure. Bear that in mind, the number of mole that you calculate over here adalah mole of Fe pure. Okay? Setakat ni, problem? Digest dulu. Okay ke? Are we still together? Zul okay?
Okay. Okay.
Haris? Daniel? Rambut Nabil hujung Sam boleh sama panjang dengan Lau. Anas semua sama. Sama Azri sama apa ni? Zul macam mana rambut hang boleh tak panjang? Haa lah. Bagus. Yang rambut panjang tu jaga SOP dia tak keluar. Zul hang keluar rumah Alright. Question so far? Are we together still? Boleh? A bit of things over here. Of course, concept. Back to the concept that we want to talk about. What are we doing over here? Why are we finding all this? Because the question asking for the percentage of pure ferrum. So when the question asking for the percentage of pure ferrum, we know that the formula over here is the mass of the pure ferrum. Okay, you need to find the mass of the pure ferrum divide by the mass of impure. Mass of impure kita dah ada 1.155. Okay, 1.55 gram. So settle lah. Kenapa kita nak cari semua ni? Sebab yang kita ada daripada soalan hanya pakcik ni. Kita hanya ada information pasal MnO4 minus. So what do? We find the number of mole of MnO4 minus and then we compare with the Fe2 plus. We compare with the things that we want. Okay? So this is the thing that we want, but not the final. The final thing that we want is the Fe solid. If you remember cerita semalam, kacang hijau. Kacang hijau yang ada batu, ada pasir, kamu letak masak bubuk. Betul? Alright, batu dengan pasir tu cair tak? Lebur tak? Jadi bubur tak? Tak kan? So same thing over here. When you have 1.55 gram of iron ore, dalam ni ada Fe, dalam ni ada batu, ada pasir. Tapi siapa yang akan react dengan asid? Fe sahaja. Yang akan react dengan asid hanya Fe dan hanya Fe yang boleh tukar jadi Fe2+. Betul? So kita buat daripada belakang. So ada MnO4 yang react dengan Fe2+, so dapatkan Fe, daripada Fe2+, kamu cari Fe. So maka duduk kat mana? Of course, calculate the number of mole of your MnO4. Tukar semua benda yang dia bagi, maka pertama. Compare with the equation. This statement, I always tell you, the mole ratio that you take, the comparison that you take, 1 mark. The number of mole of Fe2+ that you calculate, 1 mark. Okay? Over here, this equation and this. The equation and also the second comparison, 1 mark. Okay? And then, the mass, the mole of the pure, walaupun sama label, 1 mark. Of course, when you change it to mass, the mass of the pure akan dapat 1 markah. Formula of the percentage pure and the percentage impure, formula 1 markah, jawapan akhir 1 markah. Okay, and it, perlu saya tunjuk ke nak kira percentage? Okay ya? Percentage okay ya? Tak ya? Okay. Boleh. Dan I think Nowesh and the gang or Anas just now yang takut tiba-tiba saya kata tak boleh tu, you will be losing this mark. Okay? And you're very lucky because it's still a 1-to-1 ratio. That's why you will still get your final answer correct. Okay? Soalan pasir anyway, if you can do this and if you can understand this, you're good to go. Is there any question? Problems? Boleh? Sebelum kita bergerak, last time, not the last time, we will still see across all this thing. Just nak ingatkan kalau dia adalah impure, kalau dia adalah ore, kalau dia adalah alloy, all this thing, you cannot change to mole. Okay, you cannot change to mole. Must remember this. So kalau dia bagi mass, dia kena kekal mass. Kalau dia bagi volume, dia kena kekal volume. Volume jarang. Saya so far kita tak biasa jumpa volume impure. Alright. So mass lah selalunya. Must remain the mass. Question? Nope. Okay. Alright. 6, 7. Tadi kata 7 kan? Okay. 7. Very quickly kita tengok soalan A sikit. 290 gram. My question. Perlu cari limiting? Perlu cari excess? Go say no. Why?
Because the product is carbon dioxide, so it's complete combustion of the methanol.
And? Complete combustion means?
Means burn in excess oxygen.
Okay. Dua cara untuk detect siapa adalah limiting. We just Gore method first. What Gore say is, in the combustion, you form carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide means you are having a complete combustion. Betul? Beza complete combustion dengan incomplete combustion adalah carbon dioxide dengan carbon monoxide. Remember? So when it's a complete combustion, you must burn, alright, everything, whoever yang kamu bakar tu must be burned in excess of oxygen gas. So when in excess of oxygen gas, therefore go say, my O2 over here is definitely excess. Therefore, methanol straight away limiting. Okay? Setuju setakat ni? I have another way. Another way is if you don't remember complete combustion. Biasalah masuk exam, soalan tak cerita langsung pasal combustion. Nak ingat macam mana complete combustion tu? Tak teringat. Simple. It's given in the sentence. 209 gram of methanol are used up. Used up, in the other words, your methanol right now is finished. And when your methanol is finished, we always know that limiting reactant ada 3 syarat. Orang pertama yang habis, given mesti kurang daripada needed, dan dia akan tentukan produk. So 3 benda je limiting reactant. Dan sekarang dia habis sayang. Methanol 209 gram finish. Therefore, in your A, your methanol that having 209 gram must be limiting reactant. Dua-dua cara boleh tentukan siapa limiting reactant. Therefore, tak perlu cari. Okay? Therefore, tak perlu cari. So, question asking for in the A. We just quickly go through the A. What is the mass of the water produced? So, I'm looking for the mass of the water produced in here. So, I need to compare with my limiting reactant, which is my methanol. You need to compare two of this. Nak compare macam mana? Mesti number of mole. Therefore, you need to change the number of mole. You need to change the mass of methanol to number of mole by using molar mass. Molar mass of methanol, anybody? Natasha?
Uh, 32 gram per mole.
32 gram per mole. Thank you. So daripada 32 gram per mole, you can either use mole ratio. Siapa yang guna mole ratio, saya terima je. Siapa yang bahagi terus pun saya terima in this case. So 32 gram. Over here, I have 209 gram. Therefore, how many mole? Okay, of your methanol. My question over here, mole yang kita kira kat sini, Nabil, mole given or mole needed? Mole given or mole needed?
Mole given.
Mole given. Mole given yang kita terima daripada soalan. Therefore, Nabil, what is the mole given?
6.5313.
Okay. Guys, kalau dalam concentration kita banyak bermain dengan perkataan solute, solvent, solution. Betul? Kat sini kita banyak bermain dengan 3 perkataan lain juga. Given, needed, produce. Kena label. Value yang kita kira tu adalah given atau needed atau product, produce. Okay, so yang itulah. Itu je. So, you have the number of mole given, same thing, equation dah diberi, soalan senang ni. Bila ada equation bagi je, saya rasa soalan senang. 2 mole of your methanol will then produce 4 mole of your water. Tak perlu simplified, salin je. Tak payah gatal. Tak payah susah-susah kan. Dapat makan juga kan. So you have the given over here on the left hand side. Given is 6.5313 as stated by Nabil. And from that, you will then be able to calculate the mole of H2O produced. Sebab dia product, so produce lah. Okay. Izzati, mole of H2O produced?
13.0626 mole.
13.0626 mole. Good. Dah ada number of mole. Boleh cari mass? Alright. Weh, kalau tak tahu molar mass, Zul, molar mass water berapa?
18.
18. Molar mass water salah, hampa berhenti minum air. Saya call mak kamu. So, jangan bagi minum air. Setiap kali minum air, look at the water, you need to tell yourself the molar mass of water right now is 18 gram per mole. Ada manusia salah. Not your class. If your class that, orang tu tahu lah. Ada orang salah molar mass 16. Molar mass of water, lempang orang tu rasa macam tak nak bagi minum air ever in his life. It's a boy, so in his life. Next. Tak boleh terima weh. I is tak boleh terima. 72 liter of carbon dioxide produced after the combustion at 298 Kelvin 1 atm. Question to Fazini. 298 Kelvin 1 atm. Soalan teacher. STP or RTP? Fazini?
RTP.
RTP. Fazini juga. RTP means molar volume berapa?
24
24 apa?
liter.
24 liter. Okay. So, is RTP whenever soalan bagi dalam liter, whenever soalan bagi volume, the question definitely telling you the condition. Buka mata, baca betul-betul dia adalah STP atau RTP. Jangan teka, jangan tembak. Faham? Dia mesti akan bagi. Cari sampai jumpa. So over here is your RTP because of 298 Kelvin equals to 25 degrees Celsius. Molar volume 24 liter. The question gives you the product right now. And we agree on just now, this is the limiting. Alright, this is the limiting reactant. There is one thing that I want to remind you over here. Very important thing. If the limiting reactant is going to determine the product. Kalau teacher tahu limiting reactant berapa, saya boleh cari produk berapa. Vice versa. Kalau saya ada produk, kita boleh dapat tahu limiting reactant berapa. Kawan baik. Selain daripada limiting reactant finding product, you can use product to find limiting reactant. Okay? Therefore, easy. Tukar number of mole. So, number of mole of carbon dioxide equals to 72.0 liter divide by 24 liter. Tadi saya buat ratio, so sekarang saya buat cara ni pula. That is the molar volume. Therefore, you will have the number of mole of CO2. From the number of mole of CO2, you are going to compare from the equation. Kena buat laju dah, sebab Fatin dah boring. So, from the equation, compare 2 mole of CO2 will then need 2 mole of methanol. Okay, will then need 2 mole of methanol. Kenapa saya kata senang je? Because it's 2 to 2. Therefore, you basically akan dapat 1 to 1 ratio. Betul? Soalan minta mass of the methanol used. So, when you already have the mole, when you calculate the number of mole of methanol needed ataupun used, okay, then you will be able to find the mass of the methanol used by using the molar mass yang kamu dah kira tadi, tak perlu kira balik. Okay. Fatin, number of mole CO2? Boleh congak weh 72 banding 24.
3.
Apa apa duk tekan kalkulator? 3. So dari 3 ni dapatlah senang. 3 more lah, senang lah. So over here also 3 lah. Kan? 3 more. Oh senang. Darab molar mass dapat. Habis cerita. Senang. So, kimia boleh dapat A? Aiman, are you okay? Aiman, you're a very smart boy, you know. I hate your work. That's it. Alright, Aiman. Aiman, just tulis kemas sikit. Tu je teacher minta. You are very smart. I can see that from your work. I know how your brain works. Okay? Can you promise me that?
I promise.
Good. Thank you. Question 9 or 10 just now? Siapa tanya? Tak ingat.
Saya 9 madam B je. B je.
B
Sebab
je.
jawapan saya tak sama.
Jawapan kamu apa?
1124.472.
Ya.
Cikgu, jawapan saya pun tak sama.
Sebab
Ya,
dalam
jawapan saya
tu-
salah. Ya.
Okay.
Dia adalah benda yang saya kena letak salah. Tak ada saya salah kira. Salah kira mengaku saya salah kira ada. Budak dah bagi tahu dah. Sebab tu saya tanya 9 ke 10. Sebab saya tahu kalau soalan 9 sebab jawapan saya salah. Okay. And ada soalan lain yang tak boleh buat? Okay, tak okay?
Miss, nombor 6.
Boleh.
Miss.
Ya. 6. Okay, simple question. Cuma kat sini, be very careful with the molar mass because all your product over here is quite a number of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So just be careful with the molar mass that you are going to calculate. Okay. Lama tak jumpa soalan percentage yield. Saya rasa kita tertinggal, tak bincang lagi percentage yield. So let's talk about percentage yield a bit. Formula percentage yield. Saya rindu suara Aiman. Aiman, come on. Formula percentage yield.
Actual yield over theoretical yield times 100.
Alright. So that is the formula of your percentage yield times 100. Just a bit of information over here, just a bit of thing to let you know what is actually actual yield and what is actually theoretical yield. I have a very simple example. Saya masuk kelas kamu, saya ajar 100%. More than 100%. Okay, I don't know whether you feel it or not, but I have given everything that I have to you. Kalau saya boleh keluarkan otak saya, cucuk, masuk, transfer, wireless, whatsoever, saya buat dah sayang. Anything to make you better. Okay? And theoretically, when you go into exam, you should get 100 marks. Okay? When I do quiz, you should get 100. That is theory. You should get that much. Kamu sepatutnya dapat banyak tu. Okay? Tapi bila saya buat quiz, dia adalah manusia yang nak salah kira. Dia adalah manusia yang nak salah salin. Okay? Lagi Miss Wong kata formula kena ada unit. Hampa kan kadang rasa macam nak test saya kot. Lukis, tulis semua tapi semua unit tinggal. Hampa ingat saya tak tanda ke apa weh? Actual is what you really get. Okay? So theoretical is my expectation. I judge you, okay, saya rasa semua orang patut dapat A. Tapi kamu keluar exam dapat B. So B kamu adalah actual you. Theoretical you adalah yang sepatutnya. Mathematic wise, your theoretical forever from equation. Kalau kamu kira ada perkataan from equation and then kamu buat mole ratio dengan mole ratio, that is theory. Alright, that is theory. Actual you is the one that you do it in your experiment during the lab. Masuk makmal, biasalah masuk makmal kan. Masuk makmal, cikgu tu mungkin akan briefing, lepas tu dia bagi tahu, kamu sepatutnya akan dapat banyak mana hari ni. Lepas tu kamu buat, tak dapat pun, Miss Wong tipu. Bukan Miss Wan tipu weh, hang tak pandai buat. Tu dia. So your actual is different from the theoretical forever. Last question before we move on. Actual dengan theoretical, siapa patut lagi besar? Sharifah?
Theoretical.
Theoretical mesti adalah larger value. Alright? Because you cannot have anything more than 100%. Jawapan percentage you tak boleh lebih 100%. So theoretical you must be a larger value compared to your actual. Kalau theoretical you yang kamu kira tiba-tiba lagi kecil, sayang, padam balik, buat balik, salah dah tu. Okay? Beres? So tak boleh lebih 100%. Okay? Settle. So the question over here today, apa benda ni? C7H6O3, salicylic acid. So you have your salicylic acid given 4.5 gram. Okay. If the percentage U is 75%, percentage U 75%, how many gram of aspirin would you obtain? Aspirin is your product. So we are looking for the mass of this aspirin. Question over here. Siapa limiting reactant? I have two reactant, you know. We still have two reactant. I still have my salicylic acid. I still have my acetic anhydride. And I'm looking for the product. So the product always depends on the limiting. Who is the limiting?
Salicylic acid.
Salicylic. Kenapa Safan salicylic jadi limiting? Sebab saya kira dapat jawapan sama dengan Miss.
Lebih kurang.
Yes, Ang? Why salicylic is a limiting? Yes, correct. Sebab jawapan kamu dah betul kan? Betul Safan? Jawapan dah betul mesti betul ya. Confirm dah. So why salicylic is a limiting over here? A bit of tips weh. Kalau soalan ada dua reactant, tapi dia bagi satu orang je. Satu orang lagi tu, dia tak bagi dan dia tak tanya. Make sure dia tak tanya juga ya. Kadang-kadang dia tak bagi tapi dia tanya. In that question right now, your acetic anhydride is not given, is not being asked. Straight away, we will assume the one that is given is limiting. Kita akan buat assumption tu. Dengan syarat dia tak tanya. I have two condition over here. Bukan setakat tak bagi ya. Not given and not being asked. Then only we will assume kawan dia jadi limiting. Okay? So be careful with that. So when this thing is your limiting, your salicylic acid is your limiting, aspirin will be determined by your acid, by your salicylic acid. So to find that, you need to definitely count the number of mole, therefore molar mass. Jangan salah molar mass ni. Mentah-mentah carbon banyak, hydrogen banyak. Carbon, molar mass of carbon only. Alia? Carbon only. Oh, saya dah bagi jawapan. Cheese. Tak apalah, saya dah bagi jawapan. Oxygen. Alia, molar mass of salicylic acid.
138 gram per mol.
Setuju kelas? Saya tak kira langsung so saya assume betul je. Find the number of mole. Okay, so you find the number of mole of your C7H6O2 from the mass given 4.5 gram over the molar mass calculated over here. So you will have the number of mole calculated. Number of mole calculated over here. Zul? Zul? Zul dah hang? Line tak okay? Zul? Line saya tak okay ke? Dengar ke saya cakap?
Dengar.
Line dia tak okay kot. Anis, Syahira. Saya nak mole salicylic acid.
Kosong poin kosong.
Line semua tak okay ke hari ni? Satu Malaysia.
0.0326.
Thank you, Fatin. So, when you get the number of mole already, compare from what you have to what you want. Tak ada apa. C9H8O4. Settle. And then since it's a 1 mole to 1 mole, tulis sendiri. Malas nak tulis. Dah dapat? Kamu akan dapat number of mole of C9H8O4 produce. Sebab dia produk. So, adalah produce. Sama. 0.0326 mole. Sebab sama kan? 1 to 1 ratio. Settle lah. Okay. Sayang, again, especially to Aiman, especially to Eng, alright? Those yang suka skip step saya, even though they are 1 to 1 ratio, guys, kena tulis. Alright, Pakcik? Pakcik? Pakcik dua orang ni lah antara manusia yang suka skip. So, when you have the number of mole produced already, I just want to let you know, this is your actual or theory. Anybody? Anis Izati? This is your actual or theory.
Teori.
Teori. Kenapa teori, sayang?
Sebab kita ambil daripada mula mass kot.
I give you another chance. Kenapa teori?
Tak sure.
Nah, jawapan ada kat situ. Tengok.
Teori.
Nobody on the mic. Just keep your mouth shut. Safan, sabar.
Sebab dia bagi 4.5 gram.
No. Kenapa teori? Teori betul. Kenapa teori?
Oh, sebab kita ambil from equation.
Because we calculate from equation. This number of mole is a theory because you are calculating it from the equation. That is the tips. And the question actually looking for what? English. Kadang-kadang bukan masalah kimia pun, English kamu. How many gram of aspirin would you obtain? So soalan sebenarnya nak apa? When the question asking for how many gram of aspirin that you will obtain, yang kamu akan dapat, bukan yang kamu sepatutnya dapat. Alright? So that you would obtain over here must be your actual you. But the number of mole that you calculate over here is theory. When the number of mole is theory, definitely from the molar mass of your aspirin, alright, from the molar mass of C9H8O4, you will be able to find the mass of the theoretical yield of aspirin. The mass of aspirin that you calculate over here will be the mass of theory. Setuju? Okay. But the question is actually asking for the actual yield. From the sentence is already stated. How many gram of aspirin would you obtain? Soalan nak actual. Okay. Sebab tu dia bagi percentage yield. Alright. Molar mass of, semua dah dapat jawapan tak? Molar mass of Natasha. Molar mass of Natasha. Molar mass of aspirin, Natasha.
180.
Sorry?
180 gram per mole.
Gram per mole. Sorry, English tak bagus saya. 180 tu tak dapat tangkap. 180 tu dapat tangkap. So 180, therefore kamu akan dapat mass Aiman Saad, mass of your aspirin.
5.868 gram. 868 gram.
Okay. 3 titik perpuluhan je kah?
Yeah.
Okay, tak apa. And the next question asking for the actual yield, therefore formula percentage yield jangan tinggal. Whenever you have formula, as always, that formula will give you 1 mark. Jangan skip, Aiman, jangan skip formula saya, Aiman. Alright. So over here, 75% is given. Jangan lupa darab 100. We are looking for the actual yield. Your theoretical yield is the one that you just calculated, 5.868 gram times 100. My question, actual yield calculated will be what unit? Lau?
Percentage.
Actual yield calculated will be in what unit?
Oh, gram.
Thank you. Alright. A bit of tips. Tak ada tips apa lah. Okay, tak ada tips apa. Actual yield dengan theoretical yield ni, kalau perasan, teacher tak letak unit tau. Boleh guna gram, boleh guna mole. Kadang-kadang soalan bagi terus dalam mole, tak payah tukar gram, tak payah cari molar mass. Actual yield boleh dalam gram per gram ataupun mole per mole. So berhati-hati. Why I asked Lau just now what is the unit of the actual yield? Because the theoretical yield that I put in just now is gram. Therefore, the actual yield calculated must also be in gram. Okay? Boleh guna mole. Kadang-kadang tengok kesesuaian soalan. Kalau rasa tak perlu kira lebih, boleh guna mole. Okay? Depends pada soalan. Question? No? 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 Okay. Simple. Alright. And still for your class, antara kelas yang susah nak dengar cakap, susah nak ikut cara sebab budak pandai ramai sangat. Everybody so smart in this class. Right, Aiman? Alright. So over here, I don't know whether you realize or not after you have tried all the 10 questions, ada soalan lagi yang tak dapat jawapan ke? Kecuali soalan 9B, yang lain okay? Alright. Sebab yang lain tu sama je. Yang lain tu tak ada apa, sama je. Flow, kalau kamu tengok contoh soalan dia pun sama je. Benda yang dia tanya pun sama je. So, buat je lah. Okay. Just I want to ask, just to remind you one thing, you realize that your question will be quite long. And most of the time, you will be using everything that you find from the beginning. Right? You will use this mass, you will use this mass to find the number of mole, and the same number of mole akan guna untuk cari produk, the same number of mole akan guna untuk cari produk lain, and so on. Agree? Okay? Therefore, do not round off. Bila kamu dah round off dari awal, step 1, kira number of mole tu dah round off. So number of mole needed kamu dah rounded already automatically. Cari produk round off sekali lagi. Cari percentage yield round off sekali lagi. Walaupun kamu rasa, alah teacher saya round off 0.01 je, 0.05 je. Tapi bila 0.05 tu round off 4 kali automatically, your jawapan akhir akan lari. Dan jawapan akhir yang lari banyak, kita memang tak bagi markah. Even though semua step kamu betul. And that is the reason why. Yes, Saban?
Dari banyak tu macam 0.1 ke 0.2
tak ada.
ke?
Dari banyak tu depends tahun tu. Depends tahun tu ketua pengawas bagi skema jawapan macam mana. Akan ada ketua yang tak terima pun jawapan yang lain dari apa yang atas kertas skema jawapan. And my concept is pretty simple. Why I say 4 decimal place? It's always better when we give more than the answer scheme. Sebab kalau answer scheme tu adalah 2 titik perpuluhan tapi kita bagi 4, kita betul. Tapi kalau answer scheme tu 3 titik perpuluhan, kita bagi 2, kita salah. You get what I mean? Alright? So bagi lebih tak apa, kita akan betul. Tapi the problem is, kamu kedekut weh. Hang tahu apa kedekut? Itulah cerita dia. Apa suka bagi kurang? Apa semua benda apa nak round off? Tak elok. Bad habit. And why SPM we don't insist on this thing? Because your SPM calculation is very straightforward. Kira one step dapat jawapan akhir. Kira one step dapat jawapan akhir. But your answer over here, kamu kira satu jawapan number of mole, kamu guna number of mole yang sama tu mungkin 4 kali lagi. And bayangkan number of mole tu kamu dah round off dari awal. Kamu akan automatically round off 4 kali. And your final answer is gone even though you do it correctly. Okay? Please, I'm begging you, man. What else you want me to do? All right? I don't like it when my student can answer everything correctly, but you're not getting the full mark. I don't like it at any point in your life. Okay? So tak payah kedekut pen tu Tak ada pen, mai bagi tahu saya bagi. Kertas tak cukup. Oh, do you have enough paper at home? Good. All right, you can buy from Shopee. You know, everything you can buy from Shopee now. Don't have boyfriend also can buy in Shopee soon, I believe. All right, and finish up all the 10 questions. If you have any problem, can ask me. And next week, before we start on quiz 2, before we start on topic 2, I will give a pop question about this. We will do it together one more time. Okay, one more time before we move on to topic 2. So try to understand everything about this, and your Friday will have a topical test on this. Best, soalan best. Soalan kamu salah awal tu bye-bye lah. Saya bagi tahu siap-siap. Soalan best, senang. Tak banyak soalan kot, 2 soalan je. Tapi 2 soalan tu 35 markah kot. Yeah, about that. Okay. So try that, and if there's nothing, I think that's it. For next week, prepare for topic 2. Okay? Playlist dah ada kat YouTube. Buka. Topic 2, warning a bit. Topic 2 is a brand new topic that you have known nothing in SPM. Tolong study. Okay? Untuk SES, something that you have learned last time. Afbau, Ansru, 1S2, 2S2, semua tu. Ingat lagi? Ada lagi dalam otak? You'll be learning that again. Okay? So, belajar benda tu. And I'll see you next week for that. I'll see you on Friday for your topical test. Okay? All right. Have a good day and stay safe. And Lau, better attire next round. Thank you.